This video was digitized from a photo collection I received from a Coast Guardsman by the name of Ferrel Harvey, and this is his time aboard Coast Guard cutter Itasca in 1940. And Ferrel Harvey was the Chief Watertender aboard Itasca in 1940. And the Itasca was a lake-class cutter commissioned in July 1930 and then decommissioned in May of 1941 when she was given to the British Royal Navy during the Lend-Lease policies leading up to World War II. And Itasca is famous in Coast Guard and I guess world history as being the last to hear from Amelia Earhart during her 1937 world flight attempt. Itasca was acting as a picket ship in the Pacific Ocean as Amelia Earhart was nearing the west coast of the United States, and she was the last to make radio contact with her before she vanished. And as I mentioned earlier, this photo album covers the basically the year 1940, and it starts off here in January of 1940 when Itasca makes a goodwill trip to Mexico and South America with another Coast Guard cutter, the Pandora, which was home ported out of Key West, Florida. And she transited through the Panama Canal over to Acapulco, Mexico, where she rendezvoused with Itasca. And then they started sailing south, went back through the Panama Canal, visited some East Coast ports in Mexico and South America, and then Itasca came back to her home port of San Diego, California. And then there's a period of just some interim pictures, and then the ending is of Itasca's Unalaska and Bering Sea patrol, which she started in July of 1940. And as you can see, we're already underway on the Goodwill cruise down to Mexico and South America. And there was a really nice newspaper article describing the event when Itasca returned to San Diego. And I'll just go ahead and read the article here to you. It says, San Diego, April 13th. Goodwill by the barrelful has just been let loose on Central America. Latest neighborly gesture of Uncle Sam toward the folks south of the border was completed when the Itasca, a 225-foot Coast Guard cutter, and the Pandora, Coast Guard patrol boat, moored here after spreading goodwill along both sides of Central America. The Itasca, under Captain Roger Heimer, and the Pandora, under Captain Carl Hilton, stopped at 14 ports during their 2-month cruise from Mazatlan, Mexico, down through the Panama Canal and up the east coast as far as Veracruz, Mexico. Commander Ellis Reed Hill accompanied the expedition in an advisory capacity. The 170 officers and men who made up the Goodwill party visited ports and capitals of Mexico, Guatemala, Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. Their job was to show off the activities of the peacetime operating Coast Guard and to cultivate new friends for the United States. Every man and officer did his job well and, incidentally, managed to have a heap of fun along the way. Breaches, buoy, and capsize drills were standard show in every port. Occasionally man overboard exercises and official movies of the Coast Guard in action were thrown in. The enlisted men found plenty of opportunity to mix with natives. Baseball, basketball, and rifle competition with local teams usually broke the ice. For the officers, there were cocktail parties, reception, dances, always topped off by a shipboard party on the Itasca. Although alcoholic drinks are banned aboard all U.S. vessels, all the parties were highly successful. Sometimes they included short moonlight cruises in tropical waters. There were usually community sing-alongs with 50 to 150 guests and local maramba bands to lend gaiety to the affair. A master of ceremonies was always on hand to organize a Paul Jones. Typical of the entertainment provided by the natives was the reception given officers and men in San Salvador, capital of Salvador. Officers were whisked off to the Casa Presidencial as soon as they hit the port and were handed bubbling champagne glasses. From here, they adjourned to the American legation, where Salvadorians enjoyed American hospitality. Next day, the men played games with the natives. Officers rested until night, when the Salvador government set before them a 10-course dinner, offered them two orchestras, and a long evening of dancing with the capital's finest. And that was a nice summary of the cruise by that staff writer, John Rice, and he actually made the 2-month cruise with on board Itasca. And these next pictures of this line crossing or King Neptune ceremony, they didn't dip down far enough to go across the equator. They could have made a run down there, but this is probably when they got into the Caribbean and were doing the Order of the Spanish Main crossing ceremony for sailing in the Caribbean. Anybody that's been on board a ship that's crossed the equator, date line, been to the polar caps. I guess it could have been also going through the Panama Canal to get the Order of the Ditch. So, but none of the photos were marked to state exactly which ceremony it was. And yeah, I'd love to hear your comments if you've been through one of these King Neptune ceremonies. And if you're not familiar with this event, it's whenever sailors accomplish a milestone while sailing, whether it be crossing the date line, the equator, going through the Panama Canal, sailing through a specific body of water, like here the Caribbean. Usually, it's recognized by a ceremony, and it always has. The ceremony always has to do with paying homage to King Neptune and his court, which you'll see King Neptune here in these pictures with the crown, then his queen, Queen Amphitrite, and then usually Davy Jones is somewhere around, and then usually their baby is around. And, so yeah, it's just a fun way to mark the milestone, and also you break up the monotony of sailing. And to finish up this section on the Goodwill Tour to Mexico and South America, I'll just drop in a couple of postcards that Ferrel Harvey sent back home from some of the different countries that he visited down there. And this next series of pictures are just some interim pictures between the Mexico, South America Goodwill trip and the Unalaska Bering Sea Patrol. And they really didn't fit into either one of those previous categories. And it starts off here with a gun shoot, and then some regular pictures of them underway, probably somewhere off of the Southern California coast, since they were home ported out of San Diego. And I don't really know a lot about Chief Watertender Ferrel Harvey, other than he was on board the Coast Guard cutter Algonquin in between 1927 and 1930. I have a photo collection of his here also on my channel, and then obviously here on the Itasca, and then I do believe he went on to become an engineering officer and was on USS Wakefield during World War II, but I can't confirm that. And I just, thank him for taking these pictures of Itasca and of the other photo album I have of him on Coast Guard Cutter Algonquin, and just did a fantastic job. And I really like to thank him for preserving this Coast Guard history. And on the upcoming section of photos for the Unalaska Bering Sea Patrol, there wasn't a lot of newspaper coverage on the event. It was just that they didn't run into very much ice, and they left on the 20th of July and returned on the 20th of October, and had made it as far north as Point Barrow. And there was a different commanding officer during that time, Commander R.C. Heimer, who had made the south trip with Itasca, was replaced during the summer by Commander L.W. Perkins, and he made the north trip with Itasca. But so I'm just going to fill in the remainder of this slideshow with some backing music, and I'd love to hear your comments, and hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed this bit of history. Try to upload military and patriotic videos to my site here, about every other day. And if you're interested in a good read, check out my books at www.edsemler.com.